Hey, welcome back everyone to another broadcast of In the Trenches. I'm your host, Tom Warkus, and today I sit down with Liam Austin, who is the founder of Entrepreneurs HQ. I brought Liam on the call today to talk about virtual summits, what they are, how they work, why they can be so profitable. Austin's run a couple dozen, maybe a few dozen virtual summits in the last 2 or 3 years. So he's definitely somebody I look to as an expert and authority on that space. I've also consulted on and run and managed dozens of virtual summit campaigns. So for me, this was kind of a fun conversation just to see what's working, what's not. Where does he focus his time and attention? What are the things that people should be considering if they want to run a virtual summit in 2019 and beyond? So my big takeaway is just that virtual summits work, and they still work. And I still actually encourage people to leverage a virtual summit when and where it's appropriate. And so if you're not sure about that, you can, of course, shoot me an email, tom@tomwarkus.com, and you can let me know kind of your space, your niche. I'd be happy to kind of take a few minutes and give you some feedback on that if you're curious. Otherwise, you can also check out a complete guide to virtual summits on my website. If you just go to tomwarkus.com/virtual-summit, and that'll give you a really deep dive kind of look into how to create a virtual summit. And so those are additional resources to supplement this call and this conversation. So my hope is this conversation will give you the foundation and the fundamentals and make you think about, hey, is it worthwhile to run a virtual summit? And is this the kind of thing that I could do? Like, can you wrap your head around this? Because the stuff we talk about is kind of the baseline fundamentals that if you get it and it clicks, then I think a virtual summit could be for you. And I think they can be very, very, very effective in the right spaces, the right niches, the right industries, especially those where there's less competition and there's not a lot of people who are already running these kind of things in your space. By the way, if there's only 1 or 2 people who've run a virtual summit in the spaces you're in, that does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that it's a super saturated market. So the point is, I think it's definitely worth considering no matter what you're doing, no matter what space you're in, they still absolutely work. I think it's critical that you get some things correct and you get the foundation and the fundamentals correct for it to be a profitable virtual summit. And it's so critical to think about the back end. Once you get all these new leads and these sales, what happens next? Don't ever launch a virtual summit in a vacuum. Don't just do it and think that that's going to be it for your business and you can walk away. This is just a building block to a profitable audience-based business. Okay. So I hope that is something that you understand as you listen to this. And that's my big takeaway, that this stuff works and that these are the fundamentals. And my hope is that you'll be able to use this to get started yourself. And if you do, definitely shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. tom@tomwarkus.com. Okay. That's it for now. Without further ado, let's get to today's call. So Liam, where I want to start is actually with your background. Before we get into summits, before we get into kind of the referral software you've been building and growing and kind of some of that cool stuff you're doing in that space, how do you actually get to this point in time?
Well, by accident in some ways. So I started a group on LinkedIn back in 2008 when LinkedIn first allowed you to actually create a group on LinkedIn. And it was called the Small Business Network. And that network was really for me to network with other small business owners, entrepreneurs, because I was working with a startup at the time and was looking at ways and strategies, tactics of how others were growing their businesses. And I wanted to, see what others were doing, learn from them, see if I could model what they were doing. And so I started that group. And for the first, 6 to 12 months, it was a great resource for me, interacting with all the other small business owners as part of that group. And I left the job after about 12 months from starting the group. And so the group activity for myself declined, yet the group kept growing organically by itself up into one of the largest groups for small business owners on LinkedIn, which was really cool. And by 2015, I was getting flooded with LinkedIn messages, emails, people getting in touch with me saying, why aren't you doing anything with this group? There's 100,000 small business owners in this group. And there's all this activity going on, but the LinkedIn group is limited in its functionality, and these are some other things that we have needs for that we want. Can you do something about it as the owner of the group? And I said, all right, sure. Let me investigate, because I'd been ignoring all of these messages over the 7 years or so I'd been owning the group, and I saw that there was an opportunity to run some webinars to them based on them wanting to learn certain topics around, small business. So mostly around the marketing side of things with lead generation, sales. And we ran a few webinars with some partners to the group, one per week for several months. and we'll get like 200 people registering for these webinars with our partners. And we found that during these webinars, the most popular, the ones we got the most signups from were ones to do with LinkedIn. So being a LinkedIn group, it makes sense, right? How do we benefit from LinkedIn as a small business owner? How do we generate leads from the platform? How do we connect with our prospects and target audience? How do we make sales from these guys? So those webinars were working the best. We even brought in and did a few webinars where we would sell one of our partners' courses at the end of the webinar. So we saw that there was money to be made from this group that we had on LinkedIn. You know, it was making money just by running these webinars on a weekly basis. And that really sparked the idea for us to run our first virtual summit.
And now since then you've run like 15, right?
Yeah, it sounds pretty crazy looking back. It's been 4 years since our first summit, and we've done 15 of them now, all across marketing, lead generation, tactics, online. So really helping the small business owner just learn from other small business owners that have been successful online entrepreneurs, how they've launched their business, how they got started, what tactic got them started, rather than just their story. We've been interviewing and running presentations from over 400 of these successful entrepreneurs now since 2015, and it's really been beneficial, not just for our audience. And we've had over 100,000 small business owners now that have gone through our training, our summits, but also just for myself to learn how to grow our own business. Because starting from that LinkedIn group, I really had no idea. And it began because a few people reached out to me and just said, hey, I want to help you do something with this group. Let's make it happen.
So I definitely want to break down like what works for you with the virtual summits, but tell me a little bit about the referral software too that we were kind of talking about offline. I want to know a little bit about that too, and maybe how it integrates.
Cool. So assuming everyone knows how a virtual summit works, we receive most of our traffic from partnerships. So there's 3 different partnerships that work extremely well for driving traffic, driving leads, and driving sales. So referrals are great. Referrals are warmer leads that convert much better. So partnership traffic is something that I'm really keen on, really helped grow our business and has been one of the main pillars. So those 3 different partnerships, partnering up with your speakers, inviting them to be part of your summit, being involved in it, sharing it with their audience, with their community, with their followers. The second group of partners is your affiliates, who aren't a speaker on the summit, but they love the topic. It fits their niche and their audience, and they'd love to share free tickets out with their community. And the third one is that one that you mentioned, Tom, which is the ambassadors. So what are ambassadors? Ambassadors are basically any attendee or any email subscriber you've got on your email list, just turning them into an advocate for your brand. So these group of advocates, ambassadors are, maybe in the tens of thousands, depending on how many people you have on your list. If you have 1,000 people on your list, you've got 1,000 ambassadors. So 1,000 people who can refer their friends, their family, the groups that they're part of. Considering, what niche you're in, if you're thinking of doing a summit, think of, all the other groups, communities, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or out in the real world that you're part of, that your email subscribers are a part of. They can be sharing your summit, your product, your brand, your personal brand out to these networks, these groups that they're part of in online or in real life. And so this part has been really crucial for us in driving new traffic to our summits, to our products, and turning them into customers, because they're coming from a trusted friend. It's a referral from someone who's already knows us. They're an email subscriber or they're an attendee for the summit, and they're just telling their friends about the summit. Hey, why don't you come check out this summit on growth marketing? Here's a free ticket. Use this link, and we'll see you there next week. So the ambassador program for us has been something that was missing, I think, from the 3 pillars of our partnerships with the speakers, affiliates, and ambassadors. And it is very different from how you treat your affiliates and your speakers. And I can maybe explain that, where your ambassadors are looking to refer their friends. They might have, 1, 2, 3 friends, or, maybe 10. And we've had up to 300 people. One person invited over 300 of their friends, right, to our summit. So those people are really sharing, just in amongst their group of friends, 1 or 2 or 3 people, and they want to be rewarded for that in terms of some kind of gift. And that gift might be a physical product, or it might be a digital product. In our case, we splice open the Summit All Access Pass package and splinter it off into individual products that we then reward our ambassadors from referring their friends. Whereas an affiliate is someone who can send at least 100 people to your products or service into your business, and they're earning a commission, maybe a percentage of the revenue that you're generating from sales of your All Access Pass to your summit. And that can be anywhere between 30 to 50%.
Okay, interesting. How hard is it to actually integrate? And where do you find that people struggle the most? Is it like the thought process of like how do we incentivize it, the messaging? Like maybe walk me through a little bit of that.
Yeah, so with us, we're seeing anywhere between 15 to 20% of our email signups coming from referrals now. And when I say referrals, I mean specifically from our ambassadors. And the great thing about this is that it's a one-time setup. Technology is definitely your friend in this one, where you integrate it with your CRM system and onto your website. And it's pretty simple. You don't have to change any forms or anything like that. It's just some code that you add to your website. And once you've added that code, you just need to go into the tool. And there's a few different tools you can use for this, but we use Early Parrot. And inside Early Parrot, you can set the campaign so that they get rewarded after, say, 5 referrals. 10 referrals, 25 referrals, 50 referrals. We like to keep it to 3 rewards. And once they've hit those 3 rewards, the system or Early Parrot would automatically notify our CRM system, Infusionsoft in our case. And once that tag is triggered in Infusionsoft, it then sets off the sequence to actually deliver the digital product instantly, all automatically, without having to do any setup. And the same thing when taking a step back from there, when someone first signs up into your email list, they fill out any form on your website, existing forms. It works with all your existing forms. When they sign up, they'll be given a unique link. That unique link is unique to them. It will track anyone that they refer to your business or to your website. So that unique link is, just saved inside Infusionsoft or whatever CRM email marketing system you're using. I think it works pretty much across the board with Aweber. What are some of the other ones that are out there? ActiveCampaign, those kind of guys. It all works with that. So it runs on autopilot, which makes it really easy from that point of view. What may be difficult really is understanding what rewards you should give to incentivize people to refer. So when someone first opts in, they obviously opt in for maybe one of your webinars or for a PDF, a guide, or some kind of download. Once they've opted in for that and they've received that, we've set up a whole funnel for this. So funnels to encourage our subscribers to refer their friends. And I can go into that into a little bit more detail later on, but for us, we're really looking at, okay, well, how can we get and incentivize this person as much as possible to make a referral? And we initially tried giving like T-shirts, hoodies, like that kind of gear away, and so much more difficult to integrate into your business, like not so automated. But there are some APIs out there, some businesses that drop ship this kind of thing. So it does work, but we found it was quite difficult, as well as it wasn't really incentivizing or encouraging our subscribers to refer the event or our business, our email newsletter to their friends. So we changed it up a little bit and we aligned it better with our actual product or service that we were selling. So again, I talked about it before, we just splintered off our main product and gave them, part of the overall package. So we just give one individual product within the package, which really aligned with why they signed up for in the first place. And maybe they were considering buying it, and now they've got a chance to actually be rewarded and given part of this actual product that they're interested in anyway. So that has really helped encourage our users to spread the word of mouth and increase our email subscribers from between 15 and 20%, which has been really cool.
Right. And that's from 15 to 20% from people who sign up and they're just referring. So specifically that source of traffic, referrals of people who've signed up for the event.
No, total traffic.
Total.
Yeah, which is the total number of signups. So it is really a powerful source of leads, especially when you can find, that golden nugget inside there that, is an influencer that just, shares it on their Facebook or their LinkedIn, and you get 300 signups. We've had a few people who have sent us, in the hundreds of their friends, colleagues, whatever it might be, they've referred to us. And when I'm saying referred, I'm not just talking traffic, but actual signups. So people who have opted in to our email list in the hundreds. And those people I've reached out to and personally got to know, and seeing if they're a right fit to become an affiliate for us, if there's a way that we can leverage their audience even further.
Got it. Okay, cool. Of the people who are referring, how many people who sign up for an event end up referring, would you say, like as a percentage? I'm kind of curious about that statistic.
Yeah. I don't know off the top of my head. It's a good one for maybe to look at, but I would say it's probably somewhere between the 10 to 15% mark that refer. But each one of those people that do refer are referring, 2 to 3 people. It seems from looking, I'd have to go into the exact data and look at the exact numbers, but it seems that when someone makes at least one referral, they're making at least 2 or 3, which is awesome because you can really start seeing the virality of this. If every, 10th person refers 3 people, you can see how this can just start taking off the word of mouth and start snowballing when you're not actually having to do anything. It's all just automatically happening there in the background. People are spreading the word about your product, service, brand, being incentivized to do so, all without you having to, do much apart from that one-time setup.
Okay, that's great. I want to shift focus to the virtual summits and how you've integrated with this, and also just like virtual summits in general, because I think that's a great use case for it. Tell me like what's working now when it comes to virtual summits and kind of like maybe high level, then we can zoom in on specifics.
What's working now with virtual summits? So I think it's really about getting the foundation right. So we've got something that we call a one-page virtual summit plan. And that is something that you guys can download and check out in the notes. But what that is it allows you to build the foundation for a successful summit. Now, inside our Virtual Summit Academy, we teach people how to launch a summit within 90 days. And doing 15 of these summits across 15 different topics, we've tested a lot of things that did work, that didn't work, right? And we've scrapped a lot of the things that haven't. And with this one-page virtual summit plan, it will just set you up to make sure that you're heading in the right direction to maximize your profit, your network, your authority, whatever your goal is from your summit, helping you just stay on track so that you're going to hit that objective or at least exceed it. So there's 5 blocks that we break this one-page plan down into, and it's similar to the whole lean startup methodology, the one-page business plan. This is a one-page virtual summit plan, so one A4 piece of paper that's split into 5 different sections, and those 5 different sections are the foundation blocks. So in the first block, it's really about identifying your target audience. So who is your avatar? Who are you looking to sell to? Who's going to be your perfect customer? The second block is the topic. Well, what topic aligns really well with your target audience? What is their problem that you're solving for them? The summit name, the summit dates also fit into that block there. And the dates really sets a deadline for you, which is something I love about virtual summits as a digital product. You've got a deadline where if you announce that you're going to be launching on a certain date, you've got a deadline. You need to hit this, right? Because you've got some partners involved, your speakers, as well as your affiliates that you've got to look after. So that's block 2. Block 3 is the goals. Like, what is your objectives for it? And for a summit, there's 4 main benefits that we've seen from running our own summits, as well as looking at others out there in the marketplace. And those 4 major results are building your authority. So if you're an unknown in your niche, if you're going to a new niche, or you need to amplify your brand in your niche, then running a virtual summit does that really, really well. So that's number one. Number two is building your network of influencers. So the network of influencers within your niche are the speakers coming in to talk on your topic. And you as the host, of all those experts, you're automatically seen as, an authority in that topic, or perceived to be, aligned with these other experts. And then suddenly you've got a relationship with these experts. You've spent time having conversations with them via email. You've recorded the presentation or the session or interview with that expert. And so you can use that partnership or that relationship well into the future for running challenges or doing a sales or a giveaway, some kind of bundle. So that's number two. Number three is you're able to build your email list, build your audience really rapidly, really quickly. And with our first virtual summit that we ran off the back of our LinkedIn group, it was called the LinkedIn Success Summit, funnily enough. And that LinkedIn Success Summit, we launched pretty much with no email list at all. And we had 15,000 people register to attend the event. So we had 15,000 new email subscribers on our list that we were able to market to well into the future. And some of those people are still on our list, years down the track, and, long-term customers, repeat buyers of our products. So building your email list is the third biggest thing. And then the fourth is generating money, making money online, generating revenue for your business. And doing this, as I said, all in 90 days. So looking at the goal there of your summit, what do you want to achieve? Write down a number, be really specific in that block. And the last two, the fourth one is just getting your tech stack correct. Like, what technology software do you want to use? Do you want to use an all-in-one tool, or do you want to build it with WordPress, a CRM system, and some other things? So write that down in that block. And then the fifth block is, the offer. What are you going to be selling people at the end of the summit? This is how you're going to make revenue, guys. So you've got to spend some time thinking about your offer and the bonuses. Really important to think of the bonuses and how they all tie in, and will incentivize people to, get off their butts and put their credit cards in and buy. So those are the 5 foundation pieces. And there's lots of other little tactics that come in on the side to, increase, percentages of conversions here and there. But those 5, foundational blocks, you get them right, and you use this, one-page virtual summit plan to refer to throughout, preparing, creating, and launching your summit. You're going to be well positioned to really maximize your profit from the summit, but as well as hit that goal that you've written down.
What are the things that you do to ensure that, like, the summit itself is as profitable as possible? Like, both on, say, if people are purchasing like an all access pass, and then also like upsells, downsells from a virtual summit. Like, what works, do you think, in your experience, and what are the ways that you guys organize, like, after the summit ends, what you lead people to, and what's been most effective?
Yeah, cool. So most important really is the foundational element of aligning your upsells, and maybe you've got existing products or existing services in your business. If you've got a flagship product that you're selling really well, and you want to just get an influx of new prospects, new sales from that product, well, you need to work really backwards from there and think, okay, well, this is the upsell that I want to ultimately be selling. This is where I'm going to be making most of my profit from. What summit topic would, align really well with, this product or service that would be the next logical step for people to take with me once they've attended my summit? Maybe they've purchased the all access pass with the bonuses that get them halfway up the step to, your flagship product, but not quite all the way there. So if you can align all these things really well, the summit topic, the summit name, make sure the audience is well aligned. Your goal ultimately might be that you want to write down is sales of, my flagship product, the upsell. How do I maximize the profit from that versus email list or authority. I don't care about those things. Absolutely fine. Go after chasing the big sale. And with that big sale of the flagship product, I mean, it might be in the thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, which works really well with summits. And they work well if you've got an existing process of selling that product or service that's working well for you, I would continue using that. So for instance, if you're selling some kind of coaching program at the end that's $10,000 and you do that via the phone, then I would keep that funnel the same. So get them on the phone and sell them into the product. Prior to getting onto the phone, what's the funnel look like there? Well, think about the summit, how that topic can start getting them itchy feet for wanting to get this end product and get this solution that you're offering, and just align it so that it just makes it the next logical thing that people want to purchase, want to buy, want to learn more from you. And if you've got that end goal in mind, it's just going to make it so much easier for you to convert people at each step of the way.
Got it. And so is this typical when you guys have structured it this way, like with your own summits? You've done a lot across a variety of niches and industries. So since you're doing that, like, are you always rolling out the same upsell, or are you tweaking it? And is it do you adjust it based on like the event you're running?
Yeah, we ran quite a number of our first summits without any upsell at all, which I would say is a big no-no for people who want to generate revenue and maximize their profit for their summit. And in saying that, we didn't do it directly after the summit, but then we have used those lists to sell our partners' products in the thousands of dollars as not an upsell, but just as an affiliate that we'd maybe email market to post that. So we've done a lot of affiliate marketing. That's something that you can tie at the end of your summit as an upsell if you don't have an existing product. If you don't have an existing product at all and you just want to run a summit by itself, we've done that successfully and made a profit, but you're going to do much better if you can have that upsell at the end. And the upsell, look for a partner or look to create your own flagship product. Then you can look at doing a webinar at the end, selling a membership. And that's something that we've tried as well. We've got EHQ Club. So Entrepreneurs HQ Club is where you'll be able to access all of the 15 summits that we've run. So the 400 presentations on lead generation and making sales online from our 400 different experts. And people can jump in there and purchase a subscription to that membership and get access to all of that content instantly. We've done that as an upsell as well as a downsell with our summits. So with the upsell, we might tie it in with a webinar at the end where we look to sell a yearly subscription. And then, we've also tried, and if that doesn't work, there's no buyers for that, we then look to market a downsell, which might be the monthly trial to our membership. And another downsell, if that doesn't work, then we look at seeing if they're interested in, either a $1 trial or a free trial. For us, the free trial has actually worked. Sorry, the $1 trial, I think I said that. The $1 trial was the one that worked best for us in the membership side of things. So there's great ways, not to just look at, well, how can I upsell something? But there might be something you can cross-sell, you can downsell to, look at continuity programs, subscriptions, or big ticket items. Summits work well in most niches. I haven't really seen a niche where it hasn't worked. And with multiple different products. If there's products or services that are selling, then it's just going to be amplified by running a summit.
Interesting. And there's a lot of people that do challenge the notion of them, I feel like. And maybe that's because they are proliferating. There's more people running them. Some people don't like them, I know, but they work. I've run them myself and they work. Like when it's done right, they do work. I'm curious your perspective on that, because you said they work in most cases. When do you think somebody probably shouldn't consider running a virtual summit? Or when should they consider doing something other than a virtual summit, in your opinion?
Okay, well, I think it's there's a few different reasons. I think when you don't have the commitment, like it does take 90 days, and you do have to take it serious. Like this is something that a virtual summit could really change your business. Just think of the number one influencer in your marketplace. Imagine you could have a they could be your best friend. You could be supporting each other, marketing each other, co-branding things together. How would that change your business? What would that do for your business, for your world? Right? And that one person has done that for our business, but multiple times, which is amazing what that one relationship can lead to. Other referrals to their friends, their other influencers that they're in networking with. So it's important to realize, like, you're not just trying to make some quick money here. Although Virtual Summits does, do that, but I'd be looking at the long-term benefits of using the Virtual Summit as a foundation to really build fantastic relationships with influencers in your niche that can really change your business. You're building your email list here, you're building your authority, and if you do this right, it can really position you as the go-to person in your niche from nowhere. And if you already have an existing position or authority in your niche, this could really just, put you up into the stratosphere of against all the other influencers or authorities in your niche because of the model and the way it works. So if you're trying to just do this fly by night, trying to throw it up in, a month or even 2 months, that's too quick, and you're doing yourself an injustice by doing it too quickly. Take 90 days, do it properly, and it'll be paying dividends for you like years down the track, like it is for us and Entrepreneurs HQ. So I think that's a real thing. Just don't think like, oh, this is a great money-making scheme, I'm going to jump into it. Like, no, you need to take this seriously, and it will follow the right process. And when I say the right process, there are different models for doing virtual summits. There's like a 1-day virtual summit. There's these live summits. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend those. They don't have the impact that a multi-day summit would, or the way that we teach the process in Virtual Summit Academy has on your business and the benefits that I'm talking about now. You look at some other players in the industry that are doing like, I know people know ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels ran a summit recently called 30 Days. I think you can still check it out at 30days.com, 30.com. And they brought in some of their top customers and used them as case studies. And then they shared their number one funnel out as the upsell. And then they upsold I think it was like a 6-week program post that training program. And that was the right way to do it, the right branding, and you can change it up from being named a summit. You can name it, just 30days.com, like without having the name summit or conference or anything like that, and or series of talks. You can change this up so that it just really matches your end goal. And setting that end goal and that objective, I think, is just that priority that will just make sure that everything else that you do is aligned well with that and leads you to succeeding with that goal.
I love it. Well, Liam, I think this is a great deep dive into kind of virtual summits, what's working, what's not. It's some interesting kind of food for thought on the referral side of things. So a lot for people to take in and consider. I basically kind of echo your sentiment that these things work, they can work well. It's important to take your time on them too. You can't rush this stuff. And even case in point, like a lot of the students that I've worked with and helped them work through and launch summits, inevitably the next year summit is even bigger. And the next year after that is even bigger. So if you build out the foundation properly, this can be something that you can wash, rinse, repeat, and scale pretty effectively. So I think this is a good point to wrap up. With people who are interested, they're going to want to learn more about you, what you do, maybe learn more about what you do in virtual summits and your software. Where should they go to find out more about you, Liam?
Go check out entrepreneurshq.com. That's our main brand that hosts all the different summits that we do. The LinkedIn Success Summit that I mentioned earlier, we've turned that evergreen. So it's generating leads for us on autopilot. The Growth Marketing Summit is another one that's set on evergreen and has the referral marketing tool in there if you wanted to play around with how that works and what it looks like. Yeah, and if people wanted to reach out to me on LinkedIn, that's where I hang out. So happy for you to connect with me and say you met me through Tom and this podcast.
I love it. Well, Liam, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing your insights on In the Trenches. It really, really means a lot.
No, this has been a pleasure, mate. You asked some good questions here, and I shared some things that I haven't shared before. So hopefully, if you learned something, reach out to me and let me know.
I love it. You got it, man. Thanks so much. Are you trying to grow your online business, but struggling to get new customers consistently and predictably? Are you tired of working nonstop only to see your income plateau? Are you ready to step off the hustle hamster wheel, as I call it, and step onto a path of predictable profit that you can scale as much or as little as you want? Don't worry, you're not alone. I've been there. When I first got started, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So I started reading blogs and listening to podcasts by people I respected and wanted to learn from. I slowly but surely put their recommendations into practice. But because I wanted to do it all myself, maybe you're something like that, right? You love to do it by yourself, learn through trial and error. Well, bottom line is it took forever. Results were unpredictable when I was first getting started. I wasn't sure where to spend my time, money, and energy. And shiny penny syndrome got the best of me on more than one occasion. For many entrepreneurs, the amount I sacrificed, working literally nonstop in some cases in my spare time, and 12 and 14-hour days routinely after going full-time, combined with the endless fog of war, aka that uncertainty that I had to deal with at all times because I was going it alone. I think that would have been enough for most entrepreneurs to throw in the towel. But I was persistent, focused, and I stayed humble. Day after day, I worked to grow the traffic to my website, increase my list of subscribers, and generate a healthy living by ebooks, e-courses, and other digital products. At least that was the goal. But maybe more important than the work was that I paid attention to what I was doing, including what worked and what didn't. Eventually, I discovered a predictable pattern of growth. And so what I did was I just doubled down on those things, and I scrapped or sidelined the other things that weren't working so well. Finally, 2 years after resigning my commission as a captain in the Army and going full-time on my online business front with my blog, with my podcast, etc., I replaced my income with digital product income. 2 years. And so if that's where it stopped, I would have been happy with it. I would have been happy with the results. I wouldn't have complained. I would have been very content just replacing my income. But the bottom line is it was so much work. I wanted to, see if it could go somewhere else, right? So I just kept doing what I was doing, but better, faster, and more effectively. Again, just kind of applying the same system that I discovered from seeing these patterns emerge, right? So I implemented it, I kept doing it. And eventually replacing my income turned into doubling my income. And then that turned into a little bit more and a little bit more. But not just that, it afforded me the freedom to dictate my day and also choose the projects I want to work on the schedule and on the timeline I want, and to work with the people I want to work with. And to me, that's like a whole new level of freedom, especially coming from the military. It's something I've never really had that level of complete autonomy until I became my own boss. I started my own business, and until it became profitable enough for me to start to take a step back and actually reap the rewards of it. Because it's not all just working. And I do believe it's hard work. And I'll always say that. Nothing about doing this stuff is easy. But at the same time, you've got to reap the rewards at some point and take some of that profit, even if you're just reinvesting it into new assets and things like that. Bottom line is, it can't just be work, right? Entrepreneurship and business is about that result that occurs, the value you've created and the profit, that piece of value that you've captured, okay? And you want to be able to reap the rewards of that profit, of that value, that little sliver of value that you get to capture, that you get to net, right? You want to be able to take advantage of that. Otherwise, the entrepreneurship game really does become just a grind. And for, I think, a lot of entrepreneurs, unfortunately, it becomes meaningless, and that's when they quit. Well, for me, I love this stuff. I really, truly do. I mean, it is my thing. And so that's why I didn't just stop where I was at. I've stayed committed to learning everything I can about all aspects of this online business world and this online marketing world. And I do this through real world application. In other words, I'm currently growing several online businesses, and I'm always putting my ideas to the test in real time with my own money, with my own time and energy, oftentimes with employees, a lot of some stuff more advanced, some stuff more simple, but so varying levels of complexity, and again, in different spaces, different niches. And I can say, bottom line, I've always loved the startup hustle, but I gotta say, it's nice to now be in a position where I can get big results with much less effort, thanks to having built the foundation of my business the right way. And again, I did it all through trial and error, but I don't think that that's the way that everyone needs to do it. And in fact, looking back on it, if I had to redo it, I don't know if I would. It was so difficult to just go it alone and try to figure everything out by myself. So one of the things I've tried to do is give back with this podcast, with my blog, and with my newsletter. But maybe even more rewarding than any of this stuff, while I've enjoyed all of it, I think the thing that I'm enjoying the most, that I find most engaging and rewarding, is the premium business mastermind and coaching program I run called 100K Academy. Inside 100K Academy, I help ambitious entrepreneurs who are very driven and excited to be doing what they're doing. I help them grow their reach, their influence, and their profit using my proprietary marketing system. That's the same one I use to scale my own online businesses from 0 to multiple 6 figures and beyond. And the same system I use to help my clients reach the New York Times, Wall Street Journal bestseller list, set Kickstarter funding records, and create viral product launches that have turned into predictable revenue streams. So lots and lots of case studies that you can find at tommorkes.com. If you're curious, just go to tommorkes.com/about, and that'll get you started. Most importantly, this system is one that 100K Academy members and alumni have used to achieve tremendous results, like Alexa, who used it to have her most profitable year ever, or Tina, who used it to make 5 figures from a sales funnel that she can now replicate and scale, and that's exactly what she's doing. Or Carrie, who made over $75,000 in just 7 days. And the crazy part about his story was that his online business was actually a side hustle up until that first profitable launch, which he has then been able to grow and scale. And he subsequently quit his job following that very successful week. And I think that that has been just a game changer for Carrie and the life he's living and the work he gets to do and the impact he gets to make on the world because of the great work he's doing now, because he was able to figure out a system that would get him the target traffic, the subscribers, the sales to grow a profitable online business. Bottom line, if you want to grow your online business from 6 to 7 figures, but you flatlined or you're struggling, or you just want to be told what to do and when to do it and in what order, right? And you want a system that is predictable and scalable and isn't just, another shiny penny, but actually will fit right into your business. It plugs in and is something that you can truly grow. I want you to go to tommorkes.com/academy. That's tommorkes.com/academy. Academy is spelled ACADEMY. Go to tommorkes.com/academy, and you'll find a page on my website with more details about 100K Academy, the business mastermind coaching program I run, as well as instructions on what to do next. Again, that's tommorkes.com/academy. And if you're serious about growing your reach, influence, and profit, just follow the instructions and we'll be in touch, okay? Again, tommorkes.com/academy. Go ahead and head over there now. That's it for today. Stay frosty.